Good morning, Mr. President. What follows is a brief overview of the current situation in the Middle East and North Africa. Many Syrians are fleeing the violence in their country. Whole towns have crossed the border to Turkey. Syria has accepted an April 10th deadline to begin implementing UN Arab League envoy Kofi Annan's six-point peace plan. The plan calls for a Syrian-led political process to address the aspirations and concerns of the Syrian people, a United Nations-supervised cessation of armed violence in all its forms by all parties to protect civilians, all parties to ensure provision of humanitarian assistance to all areas affected by the fighting and implement a daily 2-hour humanitarian pause, authorities to intensify the pace and scale of release of arbitrarily detained persons, authorities to ensure freedom of movement throughout the country for journalists, and authorities to respect freedom of association and the right to demonstrate peacefully. President Bashar al-Assad has demanded an end to attacks by rebels and a promise from foreign governments to not aid rebels. Even if the peace plan is implemented in accordance with Annan's 6 points, it is not likely that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad will be in power for long. With so much of the population against him and figures such as his uncle, the exiled Rafat al-Assad, predicting his fall from power, it is very likely that he will be forced to step down. Despite its previous statement that it would not field a candidate in the upcoming election, Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood Party has registered a candidate. Khairat al-Shader, a senior Brotherhood member and successful businessman, will be running for president in May. At the same time, Salafist candidate Hazem Abu Ismail may be barred from the election due to a law stating that a candidate and his parents may not have citizenship of any country other than Egypt. Mr. Ismail's mother was born in America. Although almost 1,000 people have registered for the election, the biggest contender may be al-Shader. The Muslim Brotherhood's Freedom and Justice Party has won more than a third of the votes and half the seats in legislative elections last November. The meeting between Iraqi Shiite Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki and the Sunni and Kurdish factions in the Iraqi government has been postponed indefinitely due to mounting differences. Iraq's Vice President, fugitive Tariq al-Hashibi, visited Saudi Arabia last week, seeming to indicate that the conflict between the Shiite faction and the Sunni and Kurdish factions of the Iraqi government may draw in some of Iraq's neighbors. Saudi Arabian officials have been questioning Maliki's leadership abilities since his expression of support for President Bashar of Syria. The Iraqi government is also currently debating proposed laws controlling freedom of speech and association in the country, prompting citizens to fear that they are losing their rights. Controversy is still raging over Abdulhadi al-Khawaja, the Bahraini prisoner who has been staging a hunger strike for the past 2 months in protest of his life sentence. Al-Khawaja was arrested for taking part in anti-government protests in April of last year. In the past year, investigations have revealed that the majority of those arrested are Shiite Muslims. An independent inquiry commissioned by the king confirmed that security forces had tortured and used excessive force against civilians arrested during the protest, and that thousands of workers were allegedly fired for participating in the protests. Al-Khawaja has become a symbol in the Sunni-ruled Shiite majority country. The people of Bahrain will most likely continue to protest their government over cases such as that of Abdulhadi al-Khawaja. In a statement on Monday, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas said that if the Palestinian Authority does not receive a positive response from Israel to the prospective peace deal, the PA will renew its efforts to win UN recognition as a state. Abbas has given Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu 1 month to respond to his statement. If Netanyahu responds favorably, there may soon be peace between Palestine and Israel. If not, Palestine may realize its statehood through the UN, which is sure to rankle Israel.